Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain-Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy. I have a different kind of a show to bring to you today. Today, I wanted to interview a good friend of mine who has an event coming up that you need to hear about. So today, I'm going to be interviewing Jackalyn Rainosek. And Jackalyn, say that correctly there, Jackalyn has an amazing career in the world of leadership and health. And she's been working in this arena most of her life. And she has a very special event coming up on April the 19th. And we thought it would be a great idea to share some information about Jackalyn, about her co-presenter at that meeting, and about what that event is, what's going to take place in that event and how it could benefit you. So, Jackalyn, welcome. Great to have you here today.
Thank you. It's always wonderful to talk with you, Regina. So I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome. So, Jackalyn, tell us first, before we dive into the event, let's let people understand why they should listen to you at all, right? Tell us a bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay. Well, I think that the most important things you can know about is I fight ageism every day. I have been an entrepreneur for 47 years, and I am happy to say that I turned 82 on Sunday.
Woohoo!
And so what I find out a lot of times is people just mark off people that are older. Now they forget that there are many things like Berkshire and many other organizations that are run by 90-year-olds or 80-year-olds, and we are at the best time of our entire lives. So I say to people now, I'm at the best, at the highest level, I can be in my career. And I keep growing and changing, so I have other things to share with people. So I think that's important for people to know. And I have two businesses I run, and I have a co-founder with me that helps me do that. The leadership, we do the leadership challenge program for our leadership, and we're both certified masters. And then our companies are DTP-Leadership Group, and then we have DTP Business Strategies. So what we do is we help organizations disrupt their present in service of the future. That's what DTP stands for, disrupt the present. And our tagline is added, for the service of the future. But we disrupt people's lives. And then we look and see where their challenges are. We resolve them for them in their business or in their personal and professional lives. And so I've been an executive coach for 47 years.
Wow. I love that.
So that's where I begin.
I love that. Disrupt the present. That's awesome. I did not realize that your company was named that. That's cool. That is cool. So obviously you have some experience behind you in this arena. And I love that you started out with the ageism issue, because it is an issue today. People look at folks like you and I who are in our quote unquote senior years and think we've outlived our usefulness and outlived our abilities. And that is so not true. We have so much to offer, and wisdom and experience and things that we can shortcut their journey, right? Those who are coming up by them learning from that wisdom and experience. So I love it that you keep on going, and happy birthday. Congratulations on that milestone. Happy birthday. So let's talk a bit about this event that's coming up. Tell us what this is and give us some more information about it.
Sure. We're calling it Unleashing the Potential, April 19th. It's going to be at St. Thomas University here in Houston. The program will run from 8 until 4:30 Central Standard Time. We have in-person availability until tomorrow night at 11 p.m. And then you won't be able to register for it anymore. Or if you want to register on a virtual, then they are welcome to contact me personally if they want to. And Regina, if we can give them my email at some point in this
Sure.
program, then
Absolutely. And we can put it in the comments as well.
Yeah, and if you could put them in the comments, I'd be happy to have my email there, and they can contact me, and I'll be happy to help them with the virtual. The virtual is going to be closed on April 18th at 12 noon. So they've still got a little time for the in-person, and they've also got time for the virtual. And I guess the way I was started is Dr. Julie Wiltz and I met each other at a retreat that she was facilitating. And we started talking, and it was kind of amazing. You know, our purpose in life has always been to do what you were talking about a few minutes ago, save people time and not make them the same mistakes we did.
Yeah.
And be able to be extremely healthy physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, but also know how to lead themselves more effectively. And so Julie and I both focus on all four aspects of our being, and we also focus on how we lead ourselves and then how do we interact with other people. If I don't feel well, or if I'm not centered in my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual self, then I'm not going to do well in my interactions with others. I think people could say on your program, if I ask them to hold up their hands, they would say, no, I don't do well when I don't, and when I'm not centered, when I am not focused, when I am emotionally upset about something, whatever. So we have a number of things. I just noticed we have 32 pages in a notebook we're going to hand out. The virtual people are going to give them the handouts through email.
Right.
But I think the other thing is Julie has a very unique story. She has survived heart disease. She was born with an undeveloped heart. And I'll just tell this brief story about her because there's so much about her story that I want people to hear from her.
From her, sure.
When she was born, Regina, the doctor said to the mother, she is not breathing. I don't think she's going to live, so I'm going to leave her with you so that you can let go and accept it. The doctor handed Julie over to her mother, and Julie started crying. And
it gives me chills every time I hear that.
And the doctor was astonished.
Yes.
The mother kept her for a while and then got tired, and she handed it back over to the doctor, and she stopped breathing.
Oh my goodness.
Because of this underdeveloped heart. And so the mother took her back. And the things that her mother went through to keep Julie alive, and this is the phenomenal thing. Julie got her doctorate last year. She'll be 49 in December. She's run marathons. She's got a fully developed heart. And yet for many years, she was told by a doctor she only had another year to live.
Wow.
And so I think her story is phenomenal. And that's the reason I wanted her to come to Houston and talk about her story. And I think another thing, she's going to talk a lot about how she set goals, how she focused herself, how she did all kinds of, she owns a yoga studio. So she works 20 hours a week at her yoga studio. And then she's well known for her health focus program worldwide in Accenture. So she has a lot of techniques she's going to share that day, and a lot of things she talks about and far as her leadership. And I think there's something else. She's going to talk about a relationship with her mother that is amazing, because this woman had really had no education. Her husband would not help with this child that had an undeveloped heart, and ended the marriage and left her without any money. And so they had quite a struggle.
Sure.
And so what you're going to hear with Julie's story is inspirational, it's motivational. You're going to say, I walked away and I learned something about a woman that is just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
So,
she is.
yeah. And so, so many times life tells us that we can't do something, whether that's the people around us, our physical bodies, and the disbelief that we engender as or that we create that disbelief because there's something going on in our bodies, and we become convinced that we can't do things. What an extremely powerful example that Julie is of, hey, you've got this. Uh, don't let life make choices for you. You make those choices, right?
Well, and I think that's another thing that attracts us, because I'll tell you my story in a minute, but and the reason I'm on the program with her, but I think the thing of it is she never gave up. Her
Yeah.
mother never gave up.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how they lived their life in the early stages and how things progress. And to me, Julie's an excellent example of saying, I am on this earth for a purpose. I'm going to fulfill that purpose, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
here to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what she's doing. And the reason I wanted her on the program with me, she said, I'm the younger version of you. You're the older version of me. And I think people need to hear about what all you've
Yeah.
done, because it is time to eliminate ageism. There's some things that people have said to me, Regina, and you and I have such a wealth of information. A friend of mine said to me, she said, Jackalyn, every time I talk to you, there's something else you know. I had no idea that
Yeah.
she'd worked with 313 clients that had various illnesses, and 47% of them were cancer patients and heart
Oh,
patients that
wow.
were very advanced. She said, every time I talk to you, and I think that's true of you, Regina, I know you well, and you're always surprising me with something else that I didn't know you knew. So I think that's the thing that Julie said, let's really hit at ageism and
Yeah.
say, stop it.
Stop it.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah. Stop it. Just because our bodies have aged chronologically does not mean that we don't have a lot to offer. A lot to offer. I love the word that you used a moment ago about purpose as well. And I think so many times people are struggling to find their purpose in life. I think you and I both kind of, and I'm speaking off the cuff here, but I think we both have kind of known most of our lives what our purpose is. Mm-hmm. Mine, I've known for years that my purpose was to help others achieve their full potential. And I do that through my coaching today. I do that through books that I publish, through, other things. But I get that same sense from you, Jackalyn, that purpose, knowing your purpose in life has been a constant for you. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yeah, well, let me tell you a story real short. I think I knew that I was going to be a therapist someday, and then be a coach, and then be an organizational development person. Because people love this story. But when I was about 9, my mother we made great lemonade. And so I had a lemonade stand out in front of our house. And all the kids in the neighborhood would come and privately talk to me about their problems. And then I would try to help them solve them. And if they were too hard, I would take them into the house, and Mother and I would talk to them. Now I know my mother called their mothers, after she had a discussion with them. But, I'm kind of the Lucy of the neighborhood. So I think I knew from the very beginning that, my purpose today is be real and live in truth. That's my purpose.
Yeah.
But I think what I do with my client base is that I help them develop great appreciation for environments where we work, that we can all be appreciated for what we have to offer in that environment. So yes, I do diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, sometimes I call it cultural competency and social justice, because that's what I want to do in an organization. I want to create a socially just work environment where every person can be appreciated for what they offer. And I think my coaching, I do visionary dream coaching. And so I help people identify what their purpose is in 10 dreams so that they can live their life. And what I find is only 1% of the people in the world really know what their purpose is. And I think you're correct. I knew mine, and I help other people to identify theirs. And I want to tell you a short story. I have a good friend, and she was a judge for many years. She called me one day and she said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I met my dreams. And I said, well, why don't you do the visionary dream coaching with me, and we'll figure out what all you need to
What the
do.
next stage is. Yeah.
Yeah, we established a new purpose for her.
Right.
We then got her 10 dreams. And 6 years later, she's called me and she said, I'm meeting all my 10 dreams.
I love it.
Jackalyn, this is the most phenomenal thing. Now, luckily, I'm going to have some time with her soon and get caught up again. But I think what this program is on April 19th, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I think we prevent ourselves from doing because of how we talk to ourselves. So I'm going to use some of my visionary dream coaching and particularly talk about the doubter, the critic, and how we can remove that from our lives so that we can achieve with the voice of the realist, the dreamer, and the visionary. So I'm going to be talking about some of those things. But I think Julie and I blend well because she has envisioned all of her life, where she was going to go and what she was going to do.
Right.
So I shorten it that. There's a lot more I can talk about with the program, but please give some
comments. So you're saying that being a dreamer is a good thing?
Being a dreamer is a fantastic thing. And what I think is, if we can live in the present every day with our realist, we can solve any problem. I'm going to talk about the doubter who creates conflicts for us because it creates assumptions about people and things that are not true. And they often create conflict in our lives. Often people think that voice is their intuitive self, and it's not. The realist is really the intuitive self. And so then if I can be realistic about what I do every day, then I can also think to what I want in my life. And that's what I help people to define. And they walk away with 10 dream strategies, and they walk away with a team of people that are going to help meet those dreams. And so I'll talk about some of that on April 19th, Regina. But I think, I have organizations calling me and say, would you come do the visionary dream coaching with our organization? Because we need to expand our ideas so we can create more revenue and profits.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do as well.
So will this be then, workshop like where folks will actually take action in this during this day? And I think you mentioned a workbook. So they will actually be taking action in their own lives.
Well, I think Julie's got a lot of things that she's going to ask them to do. And then I have multiplicity of assessments. I have an assessment on work project activity addiction. I have an assessment on food, what all you're doing with it. I have an assessment on are you emotionally connected? Because if people are emotionally disconnected, then they don't do well. We know that 90% of the success of people is based on their EQ, or their emotional intelligence. And so we know how to increase the emotional intelligence. So we're both going to be talking about it.
Excellent.
And I think some of the things that people are going to appreciate with me is by the time my mother died when I was 30. And during that time, after that, I had 3 illnesses that were not pleasant. And one of them was I had a hysterectomy because I had a grapefruit size and a orange size benign tumors.
Yikes.
Thank God they were benign, but if I
Yes.
create that kind of thing in my body, then I have to know something about it. So then I'm going to talk about the history that I've gone through because I flew to South America in 1983 because I was working with cancer patients. I thought they were dying of overdoses of chemotherapy, and there had to be a new way to do that. So I went to an international conference in Cali, Colombia, and heard all kinds of the new avenues. Then I started studying with Hazel Purcell in New Mexico, who had a doctorate in homeopathy and a doctorate in nutrition. And then I went to Canada and study with another woman about what could we do to provide ways to do it. Dr. Ray Luke has been my Chinese herbalist and acupuncturist for years, and all of the things he helped me do have created the excitement and the physical stamina and all the other things I do. But I'm going to give a lot more suggestions because I've been people call me and they'll say, I've got some new product line. I'll look at it. I only take a few of them because I really research them and have 4 or 5 experts that are friends of mine to look at it. So I think we're going to provide many experiences. And one of the things that Julie and I started thinking about, I said, what happens when you do a program? She said, well, people just say, this is a program I will remember for a lifetime because it was so unique. And I said, well, that's very interesting because people tell me when I do programs, I will not forget this workshop. I will utilize these things you've given me because they are not only unique, but you touched my heart.
Mm.
And then I began to feel a lot of things that I needed to feel. And then I was able to do what I needed to do. And I think Julie does the same thing.
Same thing. So if somebody's sitting out there listening to our conversation, Jackalyn, and they're saying, not sure if this is for me or not, what would you say to them? Who would you say this is for?
It's definitely for all genders. This event is being provided by womenadvancingwomen.org,
Okay.
which is a nonprofit to raise funds for women's education. That's where the money's going to be going. But I think what I would say to them is this. If you have gotten to a place where you say, I want to advance more, I want to change more, I want to do more things, then what I think I could say is, I would say, that's really important to do. And this program will provide that.
Excellent. Excellent.
And so another thing I think is people have challenges. They have challenges. And I think those challenges are things that they will meet and they'll get some answers for. And I don't care what they are, because I think that whether it's personal, professional, or whatever, I think they will see new avenues about how to advance themselves. Because as an executive coach, I'm well known for some. A lot of my client base, they have advanced 4 levels up.
Nice.
And
nice.
From where they were.
Yeah. Awesome. So, Jackalyn, let's put the information in the chat here for where people will sign up for this. So, Jackalyn, this sounds like a really exciting event, and I think a lot of people can benefit from it. Will you tell folks how they can get tickets? I know there's a difference in the virtual and the in-person ticket process. Can you tell folks how they get tickets, please?
Sure, I'll be delighted. First of all, in person, you can go to womenadvancingwomen.org, womenadvancingwomen.org. And there you will find a number of selections. So one of the things as president of that organization, I want to say that I want to offer you something. If you'll go to the WEN registration, you'll get a 20% discount from the price itself. So that'll give you a 20% discount. If you're in the 1 to 3 year of your career, and I know many of you have all kinds of bills to pay for school and so forth. If you go to the 1 to 3 year career, then you will have an even greater discount. And to be real honest, some of my friends have let me know that it's hard for them to pay the WEN 20% discount. So I've encouraged them to go ahead and do the 1 to 3, and please come in person. We'd be delighted to have you. So you have 2 discount possibilities there that you can make the decision about. But we'd love to have you. But it has to be done before 10 p.m. on Wednesday, April 17th in the evening. So it's 10 p.m. The other thing I'd like to say is on the virtual, I think the easiest way for me to help you get on virtual is just use my email. Write me, I'll immediately send you the information, and then you'll have it so that you can then register. Now that registration goes until the 18th or Thursday at 12 noon. So my email is Jackalyn, JACKALYN at D like dog, T like Tom, P like Paul, leadership.com.
Awesome.
So the DTP, I've mentioned stands for Disruptive President Service in the Future. So it's Jackalyn at DTP-Leadership.com. And
folks,
I'd
you can see
love
that
to
on the
have you
screen.
there.
Yeah, and you can see that on the screen there, folks, too. So awesome. Jackalyn, any last thoughts or comments that you'd like to share with folks about this event?
I think that one of the things that I would like to leave with y'all is this. Whether you're at the top of your game or you're in the middle of your career early, you're going to find many things on April 19th to advance you forward, because we want to unleash your potential. So that's how I would end it. And thanks so much, Regina, for doing this.
My pleasure. I hope you have a fabulous day. Wish I could be there myself. Unfortunately, I've got a scheduling conflict and can't make it, but I would love to be there in person, especially since you're just going to be down the street. Ha ha ha. Down the street in Houston is going to be a long ways. So we're both in the Houston area, but folks, there's like 4 million people who live in Harris County.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. And in fact, I think I came to your area the other night. It took me an hour. So,
it took an hour. Yeah. Just down the street.
Right. Now, St. Thomas is just down the street from me because it only takes me about 5 minutes to get there. But it's a wonderful facility, and we'll have instructions for you. One of the things we've done is we're making the dress business casual because we all just want to enjoy ourselves on a Friday.
There you go.
So and I will tell you this, you will have the best food you've had in a long time. They have a 5-star chef that cooks for all of the food for the events.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Awesome. But Jackalyn, I
Thank
wish you
you.
the best. I know it's going to be phenomenal, and folks, don't lose time. You know, to register for the in-person is only through tomorrow at what time? I think, Jackalyn?
It's at 10 o'clock, 10
10
p.m.
p.m. Okay, and then you have until the 18th to register for the virtual. So
Which is at
act on this quickly.
noon. Yeah.
Noon on the
Thank
18th.
you.
So take quick action. All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.